Hello friends, and welcome to a reading vlog. Today is Wednesday, May 5th, T-minus 7 days until my piano final. I thought it would be fun to record a reading vlog during this week so I can, honestly mostly, so I can capture the memories of this stressful time of trying to prepare 3 pieces for this final. Anyway, piano final aside, I am currently in the middle of 4 books. I used to only read maybe 2 books at a time, 1 audiobook and 1 physical book, and that has literally doubled. Firstly, I'm reading Letters to a Young Muslim by Omar Saif Ghabash. This is a nonfiction book about letters to a young Muslim. Think like Between the World and Me style, where in this book a father is writing letters about what it's like to be a Muslim to his son. I'm pretty much pacing it as I'm reading 1 letter a day. For this book, it is nonfiction. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I do have some thoughts, but because this is mostly for me to learn more about what it is like to be Muslim, I'm not going to be discussing it a whole lot. The second book I'm currently reading is this chunker, which is Upon a Burning Throne by Ashok K. Banker. This is a book I have been sleeping on. Honestly, I've heard about it. I even think, if I remember right, I went to a bookstore and I saw this book. And this was like over a year ago, and I hadn't heard anyone talk about it yet. And I saw it and I was like, that sounds interesting. I'm going to have to come back and get it. And then I started hearing about this book and how phenomenal it was. So finally decided to read it. I'm literally 54 pages in. So I don't have any thoughts about this yet. The next 2 books are books that I don't have physically, because one is an audiobook. I'm reading The Silence of Bones by, let me double check. The Silence of Bones by June Her. This book, another one I've heard a lot about, and I picked it up because the idea of having to have a woman who's in this like police force whose sole task is to be the one who touches the female bodies and like deals with the female victims sounds really interesting to me. The main premise of this book is that it's following a woman who works with the police force, and none of the male police officers can touch women's bodies. So when they find a dead body, they have to get this servant girl to touch the bodies and move the dead women's bodies and things like that. And honestly, I don't really know anything else about that, because that alone, just the idea of it being against the law for a man to touch a woman he's not like closely related to, is very interesting, and that's all I needed to know to want to pick this book up. And like I've said, I'm not very far into this book, so once again, I don't have many thoughts. That's a running theme right now, is I don't have a lot of thoughts. Except for this next book, which is What to Say Next by someone whose name I don't remember off the top of my head. So this is a contemporary book, and I thought it was going to be a little bit more mystery than it is, because I think I read in the synopsis that it follows these 2 characters, David and Kit, and Kit's father just passed away and they're trying to figure out what happened to her dad. And I thought it was going to be more like mysterious, like they're trying to solve a murder. I'm like 100 pages in and it hasn't been anything like mysterious. They're trying to solve a murder. That is not to say that I'm not enjoying it. I'm still enjoying it. I have some mixed feelings about this book. My main issue with this book is the portrayal of David. In the synopsis, he's described as being socially isolated, but in the book, it feels more like a stereotypical portrayal of someone who's not neurotypical. Now, take what I say with at least 1 or 5 grains of salt, because I'm a neurotypical person. It's just the way I read it. It feels a little bit stereotypy, and that is creating like a little bit of an issue for me. I still plan on finishing the book. Overall, it is fine. However, I don't think the plot of this book, as described, being they're going to find out what happened to her dad, is accurate. So that's everything I'm currently reading. I have to go practice now, but hopefully we should be getting some good reading time after dinner and practice time. I will check in later. Brelden is here, and it's basketball time. Good evening, everybody. Good news, the Jazz won, which means the Utah Jazz, the team I rep, still number one in the NBA Western Conference standings. Very exciting. It was very much a blowout, so I was able to get some reading done. But before I talk about that, I wanted to mention, because I realized I haven't talked about the fact that it's May, and it's the Asian Readathon. It's Asian American Pacific Islanders Heritage Month, or is it History Month? Sometimes I get when it's the Heritage and when it's the History Months confused. I need to double check that. But that is why I'm putting more of an emphasis on reading Asian or Asian American authors on the subject of Upon a Burning Throne. This is very good so far. I realized I haven't talked about what happens in this book at all. Basically, there's an empire, and the king or the emperor has passed away, and this empire has this throne that's like a living stone, and it's massive. And to pick an heir who's worthy to rule the kingdom, they have the children sit upon this throne, and if the children survive the burning throne, because it literally burns the children, but if the children survive, then they're worthy to rule, and if they die, then they're not worthy to rule, and then they're also dead, which is like such a great setup. And like, there just from the beginning, there's so many stakes, you know? Come on, buddy. Yeah, come here. Hi. You gonna join us? It's okay. But from the beginning, there's a ton of stakes, and you're like, ooh, what happens if one of these kids dies? But the book starts off with this like trial of the burning throne. Don't mind Brelden's tale. But this trial of the burning throne, and these two disabled boys, both are put on the throne, they both pass, and then they kind of announce like these people are going to rule jointly, and then someone from the crowd brings his granddaughter forward and says, you have to test my granddaughter. And they do, and she also is proven worthy to rule, but they dismiss her. And then war ensues. Also, I was able to read more of, I was able to read 2 letters in Letters to a Young Muslim. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. And one of them made me cry. I read a second one because it was only like 3 or 4 pages long. But the first one made me cry. It talked about his dad dying, and it got to me. And so I cried a little bit. And it's fine. And this is Brelden telling me it's bedtime. Which, like, yeah. As you can see, I'm freshly washed. And it's getting close to bedtime. So I'm in bed, getting ready to read. And somebody is ready for his nightly pets. So that is all for now. I will check in with you tomorrow. Good afternoon, friends. It is Thursday. First check-in of the day, because Work has been crazy. As you can see, I'm in my car. I just had a doctor's visit. So let's go in order of things I've done today. Work is bananas right now. We have this really crazy project. Second thing that happened today was check in with the doctor. It's a little bit far out here. This is also where I got my vaccine, so I'm glad I've come here. I've come here before, so I kind of knew where I was going without going too much into my medical history, because you guys don't need to know all of it, but I've been having some recent health problems, and I have been worried that they were related to Lyme disease, because I got Lyme disease last summer. I was diagnosed almost a year ago. I think it'll be a year in a couple weeks, maybe a month. I don't know the exact date, but oh, you can see someone getting in their car next to me. Anyway, I got Lyme disease last summer, so I was having some symptoms that I was worried could be connected to that, but everything I talked about, the doctor was like, no, it's probably something else that's way more common, way less serious. So I'm not going to get into all of the symptoms I have. I'm just glad that it's not Lyme disease. As far as reading goes, on the way over here, I was able to listen to The Silence of Bones. Here's what I'm thinking about this book. I am enjoying it. I don't think I am as connected as the characters as I would like to be, or even as I am in the other books I'm reading. So I don't think I like it as much. As for what to say next, I was able to read like literally 2 pages. They were so fast today at the doctor's office while I was waiting. And I read a couple pages last night. I'm connecting with these characters. I think her name is Julie something, the author. Julie's doing a really good job of like making me feel for these characters, even if like plot-wise it's not delivering on kind of what I expected. And honestly, this is what I like in YA, is like I want to connect. I want to feel something for these characters. But yeah, that's all for now. Good evening, friends. It is Friday at like 11 o'clock at night. And I got home yesterday. We went immediately to the gym. And then after that, I just practiced. And I didn't read because after I got done practicing, it was pretty much time for me to go to bed. So I didn't check in because I didn't really read anything until I was already lying in bed. And then I started reading more of What to Say Next. There is an update though. I DNF'd What to Say Next because I know I said earlier in a clip that I was having issues with kind of the portrayal of David in that book because it felt kind of like a stereotype to me. But I kind of ignored it. And I was saying overall I liked it besides that. So it got worse. I read some reviews, some people who self-identified as autistic in their reviews talked about how bad the representation was. And that was kind of the nail in the coffin for me because I was feeling uncomfortable reading it. And I wasn't sure why. And honestly, it kind of reached this point for me where I was reading it and I was like, fine, like it's a little cringy, but like I'm going to power through. And then I honestly don't even remember what happened, but it completely flipped for me when I was like, I'm out. It just got bad. And for me, it really was like a complete like switch. Long story short, DNF'd What to Say Next because I just couldn't deal with it. And I am going to leave links to reviews in the comments that can explain some of the same thoughts I was having about it better than I can explain them, and from own voices, reviewers, which more important than mine. Anyway, that's it for this evening. I will check in again tomorrow, hopefully with a more exciting day. Good morning, friends. It is Saturday, and I just got out of bed, got dressed, and I'm making tea to go sit on the patio and read. I just gotta find the honey. There it is. I didn't really read after I updated last night. I read a little bit of Upon a Burning Throne, but like not a whole lot. Also, look at this giant tub of local honey. So good. But anyway, didn't read a whole lot, but I'm gonna go sit on the patio after my tea is done and read Upon a Burning Throne. Just wanted to say good morning. Try to open this honey one-handed. There we go. Yeah, just wanted to say good morning. Brelden in his favorite spot. Happy Saturday evening, friends. As you can see, it's been a pretty relaxing, good, productive day. Went outside and read outside, then read in here more afterwards, after we were done outside, and I needed to take a break from the sun. I also practiced. I'm doing 3 pieces like I mentioned. I haven't told you the name of them at all, but that's fine. But I'm working on a waltz by Chopin that is supposed to be memorized. So that's mostly what I worked on today. And like overall, feeling pretty confident about it, but there are mostly the transitions between like certain sections that I'm having a hard time remembering. Anyway, that's by the by. I also wanted to update about Upon a Burning Throne. I'm really enjoying this, and I had a couple thoughts. First of all, it was talking in here about something about kings and emperors, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like, because I never realized the difference between a king and an emperor, but how it's described in here, it's like an emperor's kind of over the king. And I was like, yeah, a king has his land, and then I mean, I think it depends on the fantasy world, but this makes a lot of sense for this world where they have kings over certain lands, and then all of those lands are under the emperor or the empress in this empire. So that was a fun realization. Also, battle is starting, and like, it's really cool to read about different war traditions, different battle traditions for these different people. And I just think that's cool. And I don't know if I've mentioned it before. They switch POVs so fast, and I love it so much. Like, some of the POVs only last 2 pages, and I love how quickly it shifts, because you really get a good like handle on what's happening, and you get an idea of like everything that's going on. I love how some information gets spread in this book, and we get a POV from a freaking crow, which is really fun. So overall, really enjoying this. That's about the only update I have for reading, because I haven't read my letter yet from Letters to a Young Muslim, and I haven't listened to The Silence of Bones at all today. I hope to read more tonight, but first I have to play Animal Crossing with my family, and while that's happening, we have a Jazz game to watch. It's basketball time. Go Jazz! Happy Monday evening, friends! I haven't read really anything yet. I was able to listen to a little bit of The Silence of Bones, and I didn't check in yesterday because I didn't read at all yesterday. Actually, that's a lie. Over the weekend, I read The Prince and the Dressmaker, and it was very cute. I maybe teared up a little bit. I didn't quite cry. There weren't any like full tears falling, but my eyes were moist. Anyway, I haven't read Upon a Burning Throne. I haven't read any more of it for a couple days. Like I said, I've made a little bit of progress in The Silence of Bones. I was able to listen to a little bit of it today. I feel like as the story's going on, I'm feeling less connected with the characters, and my enjoyment is going down because I'm very much like, I need to feel connected to at least one character or else I'm probably not going to like the book. But, I mean, I'm still enjoying it. I'm not disliking it or anything. I just am not enjoying it as much as I kind of expected expected to. Although, to be fair, I had no idea really what this book was about going in. Anyway, I have dinner on the stove right now, making some curry, and while it cooks, I have a YouTube video to finish. It's very long, it's like an hour, about a jigsaw puzzle. That's the kind of nerd I am. And then after that finishes, I'm probably gonna read for a little bit while this simmers. I will update you once I've read more of Upon a Burning Throne. Just a cat and his nap. Good evening. It is Tuesday evening, 8:30-ish. And I just got done with my final practice session before my final tomorrow for my piano final. So I did not a too intensive practice, mostly just figuring out the order I want to play them in. Also, figuring out some tempo things and some dynamics, just some like last practice on those dynamics, because those get me every time. But other than practicing, I have been able to read a little bit. I read just a tiny bit of Upon a Burning Throne. I don't know what to say about this besides, like, I'm loving it. What more can I say besides it's really good? So I was able to read a couple more letters and Letters to a Young Muslim. I think they're very interesting and I'm learning a lot. I was also able to listen more in Silence of Bones. And like I had a little dip. Last time I checked in, I was like, I'm still enjoying it, but not as much. I'm enjoying it more again than last time I checked in. It is a little predictable for me. Like nothing that has happened so far has taken me by surprise. I still have like 2-ish hours left of the audiobook. So there's still time for, something to come in and completely knock my socks off. In other news, I got an email from my local bookstore saying my order is ready for pickup, and I'm so excited. So I'm going to do that tomorrow on the way back from my piano final. So I will take you along and show you what I'm picking up, and then probably end the vlog right after that. But for right now, I haven't decided if I'm going to go listen to The Silence of Bones or if I'm going to read. But I will update you whatever I decide to do once I've made more progress. Okay, just real quick check-in. I did it. I'm done. I'm done. That's all. Okay, I'm at the bookstore. I just grabbed my little package with my order. I'm very excited for what's in here. I'm going to show it to you guys real quick. I'm so excited. This paper bag is so loud. Come on. Oh, they're bigger than I thought they were. They're like taller. I got the first 2 volumes of Cells at Work. So we started, Philo, my husband, and I started watching the anime on Netflix, and it is so funny. I love it. It's all about the cells in your body, like the red blood cell and the white blood cell and the killer T cells that we have. So it's really fun. It's really fun. So we've watched like 3 or 4 episodes and I was like, I have to read this. So I grabbed those. Also, I just got done with my final. I did like a quick little check-in in my teacher's driveway, but I couldn't talk too long because I was in her driveway and I didn't want to take up all of that space for a long time. Anyway, my final went well. I'm relieved. After one of my pieces, my teacher was just like, that was beautiful. And I was like, yes, all of my hard work. So I'm going to go home now. And then when I get there, I'm going to give you an update on what I've been able to read. As you can see, I'm home now. Got back from the bookstore. And the first thing I did was read the first volume of Cells at Work. I'm obsessed. I love it. It's just so much fun. Just like, honestly, so much fun. It might be my favorite thing I've read so far this reading vlog. Don't get me wrong. I am loving Upon a Burning Throne. But there is something nice about just picking something up that's fun and honestly educational and fast. So I just love that. Speaking of Upon a Burning Throne, I'm making progress. I'm still loving it. I don't really have much else to say about it besides, like, yes, so good. I love pretty much everything that is happening in this book. Also, I'm planning to finish The Silence of Bones today. I only have about an hour left, so it shouldn't take me very long. I was hoping to finish it before my final, but that didn't happen, which is fine. I still have, like, so much time left this evening to finish it. And I haven't read my letter yet in Letters to a Young Muslim, but I am making steady progress in that. Overall, I feel like it's been a very successful week for reading. With all that being said, and now that my final is done, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!